Welcome to the first episode of somewhat or kind of basketball talk, we'll say, because we don't want to strictly talk about basketball because honestly, as much as I love basketball, can't talk about it all the time. But today I have Romp with me. You know, he's another YouTuber. Go sub to his channel. Go follow him on Twitter and Instagram. Everything will be in the description. As always, make sure you subscribe to this channel for more basketball content as well. Like the video, likes go a long way, obviously. I know every other YouTuber on the planet says that, but it is true. They do. Follow my social medias, everything in the description below for both his channel and my channel. But introduce yourself, talk about what you do, and where you want to be as far as like basketball content creating in the future.
So yeah, Romp 2.0 is my channel. As of now, I'm just making videos on players that are doing well, just like talking about teams for the playoffs. I was kind of more into story videos like last year, but that kind of got dry because like researching for that, and there's like only so many stories you could do. But now I'm kind of just like doing my thing, whatever I want to talk about basketball wise. I just have fun with it and upload. So if you guys enjoy any basketball content, I'm sure you'll enjoy some video on my channel. If you enjoy Noah's content, then you'll probably enjoy mine as well. So yeah, that's basically it.
So I'm in a similar boat as far as my content creating. Like last year, it was very draft oriented, very like NBA based off like things like current events, because there was just like so much like non-basketball stuff going on current event wise with the NBA that like I could talk about. Now I just gotta do what I want. Like I'll post some draft stuff, I'll post some NBA stuff, I'll post whatever. I can like I did like a bunch of like my draft stuff already to get that out of the way. I've been talking about current NBA players, right now I'm working on a project about Wilt Chamberlain and why he's not real or wasn't real. Yeah, it's just like I'm at a point though, because like again last year I think we talked about this before we started recording. You know, last year we had so much time because there was just offensive play and like you can kind of like explore it, but like now it's like it's just more current stuff because like there's basketball now. So that's probably the biggest difference from my content from last year to this year, and obviously probably for you as well.
Yeah, for sure. It's like last year, so like I just got into the draft because it was like, what else are you gonna talk about? Because there was no NBA, there's really no other life because we were kind of just stuck in our house. So
I know.
the draft
We,
just
we
came
still
upon
kind of
me.
are. We still kind of
Yeah,
are,
yeah,
but
yeah.
like not as
Well,
much anymore.
where I
It's
am,
like
it's basically back to normal. I don't
for the
know about
most
you.
part it is as well. I've been vaccinated, so like I got both mine, so like I can go
Yep.
out, I can do what I need to
Same.
do. Um, Other than that though, like just like this season of basketball, it just hasn't been as fun to watch in my opinion, just because of like I wouldn't say like it's bad, but like at the same time, it's like like there's still hope concerns out there. Like you
Yep.
know, like there's still like that chance it's just like they're gonna let everyone back in, and then like they start everyone doing what they're supposed to do, and then like what if we go back? Like that's like my big concern with it all. And like especially like this is more of a concern earlier on in the year, early season I should say, like with the Harden situation with him like, going to the strip club. So and then like, oh, he's putting people at risk. That was actually a funny story,
Yeah,
his
yeah.
own, but like you know,
It was
I
funny, but
it
very.
was funny, but like weird. And like he was talking about like, no, I was at a friend's dinner party. I'm like, I don't see a dinner table. Like I see a couch. I
He
see a
doesn't give a damn, dude. He's playing basketball and living his life. He doesn't
I
care.
know. Yeah. So my next, I'm gonna ask every guest this moving forward. Who's your favorite current player in the NBA and why?
Easily. He's like I don't know. I never felt connected to a player on a personal level as I do Embiid. It's like, I don't know. I just really like his story. I like how he's like loyal to the city of Philadelphia, kind of like Damian Lillard is to Portland.
Yeah.
And I have a feeling he's legitimately one of the players that I believe is gonna just stick with one team throughout his whole career. It maybe towards like the end when he becomes like Dwight Howard, maybe he'll start drifting around, go like
I could
championship
see
hunting
him.
as like a backup.
I could see him like ending his career like Patrick Ewing and like Hakeem Olajuwon, where it's like they were on other teams toward the end of their careers, but like we just didn't know about it. Like I don't think about it's not like Howard because he played on so many teams after Orlando, but he was like still like legitimately kind of good. Where it's just like, oh, you remember him like maybe on the Hawks and maybe on the Hornets because he was still putting up like 15 and 10. But it's like you don't remember like Ewing on the Magic or like Hakeem on the Rockets.
Yeah,
Like you don't remember,
basically
like
Embiid is gonna stay in Philly for his prime.
and then yeah. So
Yeah.
it makes sense why you would pick Joel Embiid. Um
I think I can guess yours.
yeah. I
Jalen
talked
Brown.
about I know. It's funny because people think that's like a strictly Boston thing, but it's not. Like he would have been my favorite player in the league, like regardless, because I always thought he's the first player I ever wrote like a talent evaluation about when I was first starting. And like if he ended up like in Phoenix or if he ended up like in that Sacramento Toronto range in 2016 where he was like projected to go. Like I still would have been like his biggest fan because like I've been watching him grow since like the start, and like he was like that first one that kind of got me into like it, and like, I think he's a big part of like why I make basketball content now. So that's a big reason why him being on the Celtics is awesome as well. But like trust me, if he ended up in another team like next year, which I hope he doesn't, like I'd be the first to go buy his jersey for another team.
Yeah. I
So
think both him and Embiid have just matured a lot throughout
yeah.
their career, and that's what I love about Embiid. He's just compared to what he was during his rookie year, it's just a whole different
Yeah,
story, and he just keeps improving. And he's a good guy. He's got
fun personality. Um, he,
young, but I don't know.
yeah,
It's so weird. Like I'm almost like I want Embiid's success just as much as the team's success. Like
mm,
I want Embiid to. I'm basically more of like an Embiid fan, even though I'm a diehard Sixers fan. But like Embiid
yeah,
means more to me than like the whole team, if that makes sense. I don't know.
yeah. That makes sense. That totally makes sense. Like, I think I'm bigger. I'm probably a bigger Jalen fan than I am a Celtics fan because Jalen probably has a bigger impact on my life for like making basketball content than the Celtics do. But
Hmm.
I'm still a Celtics fan. I'm from the area, so like, and I've been loyal to the team forever. So like, it's like that. I do want to talk about the play-in tournament to start, just because it happened recently. There's probably gonna be a game going on when we're recording.
Yeah,
We'll see, like, but it's not like an important game. It's just
yeah. So
it's
it's pretty
Wizards and
boring.
Page. Yeah, it's a pretty boring. Like, it's a team that has like
Yeah,
five players on in total versus like a team. Like I want Washington probably to win because they just have more entertaining players. Like I know Sabonis is entertaining, but like Russ and Beal are just like that's just more entertaining
yeah,
in
I agree.
a 7 game series than like Sabonis. And Sabonis is very entertaining. Like I actually like it, like legitimately like enjoy his game, but like yeah, there's just more entertaining players. But like, what are your thoughts been on it? Because like the first game was a blowout.
Yep.
Second game was close for that first half, and then it became a blowout. Third game was close at times, and they probably would have won. And the Spurs probably would have won that game if their players played better just to begin with. And DeMar DeRozan didn't shoot 5 for 21 from the field. And then the last game was like easily the most entertaining game between the
Yeah,
Warriors and the Lakers, which was expected because that's basically what many hoped to be like a conference finals matchup. So what were your thoughts on it? Because I started kind of boring because like it was just a bunch of teams that you
yeah.
knew weren't playoff caliber trying to fight for a playoff spot.
Yeah, originally I was like a big fan of the plan because I thought the games were gonna be like really entertaining, competitive. But I'm gonna be real, the only game I watched was the Lakers and Warriors. Like I tried to watch like the first two games, but it was just really boring because you know that each team's fate is gonna be probably a 5 game series if
Yeah,
they're lucky. They might get
Like
sweep for all we know, you know.
I think it
But
would have
the
been.
Lakers and Warriors was unbelievable. But let's be real, that's probably not going to happen every year because
I don't
Lakers are
know.
only there because they're injured, and Warriors are they just
I
started
think
off terribly. I don't even think they're like I think they're better. They're like a really good 8 seed if they
yeah.
do end up. So I don't know.
It
I think the
it would
NBA.
have been more interesting if Jalen wasn't hurt, in my opinion, because
Yeah,
if Jalen was healthy, like they're not going to beat Brooklyn. They're not either way. But it goes from like potentially like a 4 or 5 game series to but maybe like they could push it to 6 games with Jalen because but that's just a key part. I don't think they're not gonna stand a chance against Brooklyn at full strength. Um,
they
like
could get like 2 games
they barely stood a
If
chance against
Kemba
them at
and
half strength.
Tatum
So
play well,
yeah, but
they could get like 2 games.
I think Kyrie's gonna go off in this series.
Yeah, probably.
A big revenge series. Like they're gonna do that stupid like "fu Kyrie" chant. Like it's just not gonna be pretty for Boston at all. And I hope Kyrie does go off because like I just hate the way most Boston fans and most like Boston media have like talked about Kyrie Irving over the past few years. So like I kind of hope that he does go off. Um, so like that's one thing. Um, I do think the playing is interesting because
Hmm.
the Lakers are the 7th seed, but I think if they're healthy, they're the favorites against Phoenix.
Yeah, for sure.
Uh, like we're talking about that. It's like I think it's going to be Lakers in 6 if they're healthy, because I think Phoenix is going to put up a fight. The X factor will be DeAndre Ayton, obviously, because like depending on how if he plays awesome, I think Phoenix has a chance to win. If he doesn't, like, because we know what Chris Paul can do. We know what Devin Booker can do. We know what Mikal Bridges can do. We don't know what, like, Aiton's going to do. He's talented, but, like, we don't know.
Yeah,
Like,
you can't trust them.
yeah, like,
I'm,
he's not.
I'm, Suns geek.
Yeah.
So, like I've gotten really close to the Suns community because of him, and I was on a live stream just like doing the play-by-play for the Lakers, and Suns fans are obviously like really sad about getting the Lakers in the first round, and
Oh, because they'd be Golden State. Like, I
yeah,
think
yeah,
they would handle Golden State because, like, I don't think Golden State has bigs that could match Aiton, and Aiton would probably have a good series because of that. In theory, obviously.
yeah.
Um, But like, he's not going to handle Anthony Davis. I don't think he's going to handle Marcus Gasol well. Like Marcus Gasol is just a really smart player if Marcus Gasol even plays. Um, but they just have bigs that can match Ayton, which is a big thing for them. And you
But
could
do
put
you really want to
Mikal.
be going through Aiden? I don't trust Aiden at all, and that's not how the Suns have been winning. Like they've been winning because
Yeah,
CP3
yeah, but
and
like
and Devin
they're
Booker.
gonna attack. They're gonna attack Ayton though. That's the thing, because they know he's like that X factor, and they're gonna attack that. Like they're gonna probably put Ayton. They're gonna try to find ways to get AD on Ayton and just let AD do whatever he wants. Because I think it's like the underrated part of Ayton's game is his athleticism. Like he's a really good athlete. But like I don't know if he's going to be able to guard Anthony Davis consistently. Like people forget how good Anthony Davis is. Like he's in the discussion for best big man in the league when healthy. Like that's it's just a health for me. But um,
Yeah, I just wouldn't trust Aiden. I think
yeah,
he's gonna get
because
smoked against the
yeah, and
Lakers,
they're
to be
gonna
honest.
expose that, and they're
Yeah,
gonna try to expose that. Like they do that to all the bigs. Like that can't really do. Like teams were doing it to Rudy Gobert, and Rudy Gobert is like an excellent like paint defender. And granted, I think it's overstated. Like
already Gobert.
them attacking. I think it's overstated of them attacking Rudy Gobert. I always say that it's not just because of the fact I don't like the guy, but like
Trolling.
anyone who follows me on Twitter knows I do not like Rudy Gobert. Like
Yeah, you're always trolling about Rudy, and I just laugh because I think he's overrated, to be honest.
I think he's good. He's good.
He's good, but
But
people
like,
act like, huh.
and I think it's like there are legit like credible like numbers that do suggest like he's a dominant paint defender. I just feel like the game is expanding so much that you can't just be a dominant paint defender. Um, and there's just so many clips of him that like you can use against people. Like I used the clip of Frank Ntilikina dunking on him like all the time because like
Mm-hmm.
you can't come back from that. Like you can't.
Bring me Lakina.
Like you
It's
can
just
come
that
back. You could say like him getting dropped by like Steph Curry and Devin Booker. Like oh, a lot of big men that would happen because it's true. A lot of big men would get dropped by Devin Booker or Steph Curry or any other like skilled guard. But like not many bigs are getting dunked on by like Frank Ntilikina. Like
he's gonna get exposed against the Warriors if they win. I've already been on record saying that
like,
I think the Warriors are gonna beat them in a 7-game series.
it
Just
depends
because
on if Donovan Mitchell goes anywhere close to as crazy as he did last year.
that's true, but that was bubble.
I think he's capable of that stuff though. Like the thing for me is it wasn't like because like a lot of his scoring stuff, it was what he was already doing. It was just the drawing the foul. He was just drawing way more fouls than he usually does. Um, so that was probably why.
So was
Uh,
Tatum in the play-in,
yeah,
bro. I love that.
yeah. He's been drawing.
That's like my problem with Mitchell, Booker,
Tatum,
and Tatum. Sometimes they fall in love
Jay
with
as well.
they fall in love with the mid-range jumper and like
Yeah,
step backs when they could get to the lane and get fouled. And if you add that element where you're getting to the line like 8 or 10 times a game,
yeah,
it's gonna just
mm,
you're gonna be even more
yeah,
lethal. That's what I want Mitchell to do, and he was doing that last year in the playoffs. But sometimes his shot selection is just weird.
yeah. So that should be fun though. Um, I don't think. Like I think we know it's gonna probably gonna be worse. There's a chance Memphis does beat him because they did get close like in the last game of the regular season. And you
True.
don't know. I'm not. I don't know if I trust Ja though. He's had some shaky moments. He's a young player though, so
Hey,
like I'll cut him some slack there because he's only got in his second year. And he's. I feel like because like I entered the season saying he was overrated. Um,
ooh,
I did, which I thought was true at the time because like I didn't like they were just like catapulting him had ahead of players that just didn't make sense. Like they were saying he was better than Trey, like that's not true. I didn't think he was better than De'Aaron Fox even. Like, and that's an indictment on Ja, but like I think they were just like he's the next great, like he's the next best point guard in the league. Like, well, not really. Like there are other guys that are way closer to him or are better than him. Like, so that's it. But then, like, as the season progressed, everyone started saying he was overrated to the point, like, okay, he's starting to become underrated again. Like, he's still, like, has a chance to be, like, he's still probably gonna, has, like, a top five point guard kind of ceiling. Like, and
yeah.
he had the injuries, like, and, like, his numbers improved. Like, again, like, the shooting woes are still kind of there with him. But it's not like you can leave him open, which, like, I believe fits a baseline. If you can't leave him open, you fit a baseline of, like, okay, you're functional as an NBA player
There
at
are
the
some
guard.
games teams just disrespect them, like the Warriors were doing that in that game. And when he's not hitting, it's tough.
Yeah, but like he's one of the best passers in the league. I
Yeah,
think
for
that's
sure.
fair to say. Like he's such a creative passer. Like I wouldn't say like he's the best. I definitely think among the young guys, I think Lamelo's the best, and it's like not even close because like he's just doing things that like better. Like he's already one of the best passers in the league, but like Shaw's up there as well. But again, not
Shea,
being
who you take, Shea or Ja long term?
I would take Say just because of his progression each year. The only thing that might hold me back is the injury because like plantar fasciitis is like that's a killer. Like it's not like a major injury, but like that can like slow. It's like arthritis, where it's not like something you think of as this major injury, but like it can slow players down more than you would
Mm-hmm.
think. But his progression as a shooter, as a passer, and the scorer overall have all been so impressive. And it's just been on a better trajectory than what Ja has been on. So I would go SGA long term personally. But Ja's really good. But like, and again, SGA, I wouldn't put him in the point guard. He's a shooting guard. So um,
I agree with that.
yeah.
That's fair.
But Ja, I think he's going to be very good for a long time. He's already pretty good. Like 19-7 almost 8 assists per game in your second year is nothing to scoff at.
He's so
Uh,
fun to watch too.
he is. He's to learn how to land properly.
Yeah, it's
That's the one thing.
bad, bro. It's really bad.
Hmm. But I think like the one advantage he has over other um, athletic point guards in previous years is like, you know, with him, he has like a definitive skill set that doesn't require athleticism, which is his passing. So, no, and I hope this doesn't happen, obviously, but like if he has a major injury that like that alters his athleticism, he still is an elite passer. So he could be like a Ricky Rubio type. It's like he can pass because he's like an elite passer. So like he has something to fall back on. So guys, we had some technical difficulties. I do want to talk about that because you said you wanted to talk about this. Now that we're back, um, you wanted to talk about the 2020 NBA draft and like how they surprised us. Because again, this was a class that was kind of viewed as weak. I never thought of it as like weak. I thought like compared to like the previous 2 years where there was like a transcendent talent in each class. Like it just wasn't as strong, but like I never thought it was weak. Like I think some people were acting like it was going to be like not the 20, the 2001 NBA draft, which it wasn't. So yeah,
I just think it really surprised me how good like LaMelo Ball is already. Like, not surprised me. I knew he was going to be good, but just some of the
I was
passes he
surprised.
made this
Yeah.
year, it's like,
hmm
and then Anthony Edwards even.
Anthony Edwards is more
I did
shocking.
not expect him to like be like
Like he's
this
so
good already.
I thought like his like I thought he was gonna be like really good in the NBA, obviously, because like again he was my number 2 player in the draft.
Yeah.
Um, but at the same time, I didn't think like he would show like the 25 plus point per game potential like this early in his career, which he has because he's averaged like almost 24 points a game post All-Star break, and a lot of
Plus, he's shown the
it.
ability to be like a leader as well.
Yeah, he's already the leader in that locker room. I can
Yeah.
I can tell he already is like, which is kind of sad because he's only like 19 and like you
Hmm.
have established guys, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
That's another story for another time. But I like him a lot, obviously. He's one of my favorite players in the league. He's always been.
Same.
Yeah, he's just such a great personality. He's such a great, you know. I could watch his interviews all day, but yeah,
And then you got like guys like Patrick Williams,
Patrick Williams is gonna be so
Halliburton,
good.
Tyrese Maxey.
Tyrese Maxey,
I
Cole
still think
Anthony.
Tyrese could be like top 3 in the class.
I did too. Like I think he'll get more opportunities time goes on.
Doc should have been
Kyler,
playing him.
I know Kyler Rose Jr. should have been playing more than he probably
Yep.
did. That's another one that really kind of annoys me. Patrick Williams is way better than the numbers suggest. He's going to be so good.
Yeah.
Like I think
Unless
he's either
Chicago messes him up.
yeah. Um, Isaiah Okoro is someone that should be talked about more.
Him too.
Uh, you know, he has shown more potential. I think they should give him more on-ball reps as a passer because he's shown when he got those reps he was capable, but they just didn't get him. So that was it. Emmanuel Quickly was shockingly good this year.
Mhm.
Of course, like I obviously always thought that like Desmond Bain, and like Xavier Tillman were going to be good, but like they were shocking to some people that weren't as high on him as I was. I'm trying to think who else there was.
Sadiq Bey.
Sadiq Bey's been awesome. The Celtics killer because he went off against us. And
Isn't he like historically great 3-point shooter like for a rookie?
yeah,
It's crazy.
and he won like a Player of the Week. Like I think
Yeah.
he won a Player of the Week.
And then they got Killian Hayes as well,
Killian
who I
Hayes, yeah,
still
he
think
showed
is going to be
potential.
good. He's been
Isaiah
struggling, but
Stewart,
Isaiah Stewart, like,
he
there's
was
so
way
many
better
like
than I thought
little
he would be.
guys.
Isaiah Stewart is better than I thought he would be, like by a
Hmm.
lot.
He's just a hustler. He reminds me of
Yeah,
like Montrezl Harrell, but with defensive potential.
yeah. Like I can totally see something like that. Um, I mentioned Cole Anthony. Obviously, he's been
Yeah, I
awesome.
love Cole. We've been a fan of Cole since because we
Like,
both made
because
videos on him.
I was. It just never made sense to me why he fell that far. Because like, he still put up solid numbers around a bad team. Like,
Yeah,
so that team was
and
awful.
his personality, he's got that like
You see the
just
interview.
like crazy confidence.
Yeah. He had a couple game winners as well. So he's fun.
You know who
Um,
really surprised me?
who?
And this was before he was even traded, when he was getting like barely any minutes.
Yeah.
RJ Hampton.
Yeah.
Like even in Denver, like I made a video on him like while he was in Denver. Like every time he played, he was like a major impact, and
Yeah,
I
I saw that.
disrespected him heavily before
Mhm.
the draft. I was like, yeah, this guy ain't gonna be that good, and
And he's
he's
been
really
awesome in Orlando as
really
well.
good. Yeah, he's
Um,
just like he reminds me of Halliburton a little.
he
You know what I'm
reminds
saying?
me. He's a bit more athletic than
Yeah,
Al
yeah.
because like he has a little more bounce to his game.
Hmm.
Um, but there's like Vassell when he's gotten run, he's
Yeah,
looked
that's my guy.
solid. Um, who else though? I'm just trying to think
Malachi Flynn.
of okay, Flynn. He's
He had
been
like a rookie of the week or something.
B-ball Paul,
Beautiful.
B-ball. So,
Jaden McDaniels.
Jaden McDaniels has been awesome. He's been
Defense, bro. All
deep.
defensive potential.
I know. Um, there's definitely like, oh my God.
I still got more.
Peyton Pritchard has shown more
Yeah,
potential
it's
than I thought
true.
it would. Aaron Naismith he didn't have a great start to the year. Billy kind of played, but once he started getting minutes, like
He can knock down shots.
he can hustle. He's a great hustler as well. Like you know,
Teo Maladon.
yeah,
Poku.
Poku,
Poku.
say Skeets.
Is Moses Brown a rookie? No, he's not. He's not.
No,
That was dumb.
that
Funkudo Campazzo's a rookie.
yeah.
He's not. He didn't get drafted, but
But I'm gonna pull up the draft now just to see, just so we can name some
there's
guys.
so many. Like, I'm
Um,
surprised, bro. I really am. Like, there's just so many role players that are like already doing
mhm,
stuff.
yeah. Um, I'm trying to think. So I mentioned quickly, Josh Green, like Dallas fans have
He
been
should
like,
be playing.
he should be playing. Yeah, that's what they've been
But
saying.
it's like Rick Carlisle, Doc Rivers,
They don't
Greg
like.
Popovich. They don't play young guys.
Jordan Noah had a good game towards the end of the season. I noticed that. The
He'll be like a
Louisville,
solid role player.
yeah.
Nothing else
Mitchell
though.
Lipsy,
Who?
Mitchell Lipsy. Marcus Howard got some at the end of the year as well.
Oh yeah, he went off like one quarter, and everyone was like tweeting about him.
Um, yeah. So, there's some guys like Jalen Harris, like I know
Hmm.
Robel likes him a lot. Trey Jones even got some run. Like there's just a bunch of guys. There are also some guys that obviously like didn't live up to expectations or just kind of like look a little disappointing in hindsight. Or currently like OB obviously is probably the biggest of that list. I wouldn't throw Okongwu in there because when he got minutes he showed promise. OB just I don't know what to think.
I mean, a lot of people predicted that. He
Like
was just overhyped by the mainstream media. Really,
yeah, I guess you could say that. Um,
he's getting better. I just don't
but
like.
but
People
he's
thought he
also
was like the next Tatum. Like,
like
come on
like
now.
because like he wouldn't have gotten that hype if he didn't dunk the way he does.
Yeah,
And I kind of still feel like that way, but um, you know, it's just been a fun class. It has.
he
Like
really has been.
I'm still a bit like confused by the Jalen Smith pick, especially when there are guys on the board that contribute right away. But like it's not like he isn't like a lost cause. Like I still think there's promise with him. I think he's a bit of a
Yeah, he's
project.
got potential.
Yeah.
Maybe he's the Ayton replacer. Mm.
Ayton. Somebody suggested they should trade like Ayton and picks for like Cat, which I thought about for a minute. But
Oh, they definitely should. Ayton.
yeah.
That dude's been bad this year. Well,
He hasn't been bad. He's just been
he's just
consistently okay. Like when you're the number one pick, especially in a
yeah,
good
yeah,
class, you need to be more than okay. He's going to be like Andrew
yeah,
Bogut. Like he's going to be
yep.
that number one pick that like puts up solid numbers, but like and he's not bad enough to call a bust, but he's not good enough to be like a number one pick. It's not like
He's
Andrew
just
Wiggins. Like Andrew Wiggins was like legitimately like bad at multiple points in his career. Like I always bring it up with Wiggins, where it's just like there was the year like the Timberwolves made the playoffs. He played the most minutes on that team and had a negative like box score plus minus. Like it was absurd. Like they just weren't a good team when he was on the court.
I'm happy for Wiggins though. He found his home, bro, and he was competing yesterday against LeBron like really hard. So Wiggins is kind of winning me over the way he's playing with the Warriors. I
I
think
just think he's
he's
just
just
so
not made out.
frustrating.
He's not made out to be the number one guy.
I think it's a talent too. That's the problem. Like he has like all the talent in the world. Like I always say, this was his worst possible outcome. Like what his career's become. in my opinion, was the worst possible outcome, which goes to show you how good he could have been.
I
Like
mean,
at
just
this,
some people don't have that confidence, you know? Like
well,
Ayton.
I don't think he lacks confidence. Like there were times like he attacks like legitimately good bigs. Like he has like 4 dunks on Rudy Gobert, and not many people would attack the rim the way he does against Rudy Gobert. So
I would.
I mean,
Gobert's a fraud.
people get
No, but
Gobert is a litmus test for basketball fans, in my opinion. Like how you feel about him is gonna like determine like what part of basketball community you are a part of. So
I just ain't a fan of like when they bring in like just wild defensive stats that are just like,
Raptor,
yeah, like it's like, bro, come on now.
Raptor. We're talking about Raptor. Uh,
Yes.
yeah, I don't even know like half those stats mean. By the
I
way,
just think like every elite rim protector does what he does. Obviously, he does it probably better, but they act like it's like never seen before.
yeah,
You know what I'm
like
saying?
like like he's like Dwight Howard. I'm like, no, he's not.
Yeah, it's like they show clips of like guards driving to the rim and like backing out, and I'm like, dude, I see Embiid
Yeah,
do that every night. I see Nerlens Noel do
uh,
that. Like, come on.
yeah. So like that was like he's an interesting fella to say the
Still a
least.
great defender, don't get me wrong, but it's just
Yeah.
like chill. That's all. He shouldn't make the all NBA team over Embiid, you know?
Mm-hmm. Honestly, I don't know if he shouldn't make it, but he's gonna make one probably, which is I don't know how to feel about that, but I don't hate him as a player. Like I don't like him as a person though, but that's another story for another time. I could go on for a little
Yeah, I
while.
feel you.
But what do you like? Have you like do you watch like TV like outside of basketball? Like
Like Netflix and all that?
yeah, like
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
like obviously the big craze right now is Invincible. Did you get a chance to watch that?
I actually like looked into it. I just never got around to it.
Yeah,
Like I probably will, but
you said
it's good.
it's one of the best like superhero things I've seen in a while. Um, excluding like MCU and like old like DC animated stuff, which is awesome as well. But like as far as like TV shows like The Flash and all this stuff, I think it's like the best like superhero TV show like out right now. It's obviously become very popular because of how violent it is. Like it's an extremely violent show for a cartoon, mind you. Which means it's even more violent because they can be more creative with what they do. But like, what shows
Hmm.
do you watch? Because like I find that interesting. Like, what? Because like as a basketball content creator, like you don't always watch basketball.
Oh no.
Yeah, like people ask like, who's your favorite basketball? Like other outside of like you, like I watch like you. Obviously, I watch like my friends, but like I don't watch as much basketball content as you guys probably think I do. Because like I make
Yeah.
it. I've made over like I probably made over 100,000 hours worth of videos on this channel
Yeah,
or
so once
something
you
ridiculous.
upload, you're like,
You're kind of
I don't
just
want to
done
consume more
with
basketball,
basketball.
you know what
Like
I'm saying?
so like what do you watch? Like
So I got a list of my favorite shows. Stranger
mhm.
Things,
Oh,
Breaking
okay.
Bad. And
Mhm.
I'm really into like cop shows, you know, like just like not too serious cop shows. Like Brooklyn Nine-Nine's good. Um Psych, I don't know if you ever seen that.
Uh,
It's like a comedy. It's nothing too serious, but just
yeah.
the characters are really good. BoJack Horseman, I like, really
Mhm.
good. I'm watching a show called Chuck right now. It's really stupid, but it's one of those cop
Yeah.
shows as well.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, I like stuff like that. Nothing too serious, but sometimes I like serious, like Breaking Bad.
Mhm.
But I don't know.
I love
I
Breaking
like a
Bad.
lot of things.
Um, I gravitate more towards cartoons.
Hmm.
I like Stranger Things. I like Breaking
Oh, you
Bad.
like Scooby Doo?
Yeah,
You
but
love
like
Scooby Doo.
I know that's like it's probably going to be the background for one of my for the graphics on this because I think I use like one like I think I use the same background as I use my banner. Um, Things like Scooby Doo. I love the Justice League animated series. I love the Batman animated series. I like
Hmm.
more of like DC's cartoon shows than like Marvel's because like Marvel doesn't make great cartoon shows. So like mine's like X-Men, but like DC, they don't mess with DC like animated stuff. Their movies are like awful, but they're like
Yeah,
live
people always
action
complain
movies.
about their movies. I'm not like a
Yeah,
big superhero guy though.
yeah, but superhero stuff as well. I like that stuff a lot. It's just an interesting dynamic because like it's more than just like that's why I like Batman because like Batman gets his reputation as this guy that like he kind of just like he's a kind of a billionaire that likes to go beat up poor people, which somewhat is true, I would say. But like for the most part, it's like an interesting like dynamic of him wanting to protect like the innocent and stuff like that. And like he survives in the Justice League, so and they go to like outer space and do all types of stuff. And like the fact that he's alive, like through all like four of those seasons is incredible. But like I love stuff like that. Invincible, obviously, I love that. I love that. So I can't wait for season two. Um, you know, I'm also going back to like stuff I used to watch as a kid
Yeah,
and
yeah.
rewatching it. Like I'm watching a
That's always
show
good.
called I'm watching a show called Stormhawks right now. Um, it's a show about like like these people like like kind of like warriors, but like they ride motorcycles that turn into planes. Like it's kind of
Yeah.
cool. Like they threw like a bunch of like awesome stuff into it, but like
You're like a
have you
big
gone back?
cartoon guy.
Yeah, I'm a big like. There's just stuff like you've gone back and watched. Like
Yeah, every now and again I'll go watch like Drake and Josh,
I love,
just for like the nostalgia.
I love stuff. I love stuff like that.
iCarly I was a big fan of
Mhm.
too.
It's funny
Fairly
because
Odd Parents, bro,
yeah,
underrated. Like stuff like that.
yeah, like SpongeBob even to a certain extent. Like I'll go
Yeah,
back and
yeah.
watch. Like it's funny because like a lot of the stuff I grew up on wasn't like stuff that was made at the time when I was growing up. It was like just reruns of stuff from like the early 2000s. Like I
Hmm.
grew up thinking like Teen Titans was made when I was growing up, and I go back and find out that show was made in like 2003 when I was like 2 or 3 years old. Like, because they did that. Like, I remember like growing up, they just ran reruns of a bunch of stuff. Um, but yeah, but
But
like
yeah, I definitely don't only consume
basketball,
basketball.
it's like ball is not completely life. Like it
Yeah.
isn't. You don't want to burn out. That's the thing. Like you don't want to burn out on basketball. Like I love watching. Like I've been watching rewatching like the 2016 WNBA finals, which is
Really.
one of the most entertaining like series like in anything I've seen from basketball. I'm just going back watching like old WNBA final series. It's just a completely different game than the NBA. It's
A
just a lot
lot
more
more fundamentally sound.
ball movement. Like
Yep.
it's like every game is between two versions of the San Antonio Spurs. Like
Yeah,
when they were like
it's
when the Spurs were like really good. Like that's what it's like. It's just a lot
yeah.
of that. Um
Yeah, I watched it all my life because my sister grew up playing like obviously she's not on the level of WNBA, but I went to like all her AAU tournaments and they're
yeah.
just like so much more like
They
team
actually
oriented. They're not like selfish, like
well
it's
it's
just
also
like
easy to be
all
selfish when you're 6'5",
yeah,
220 and can jump out of the gym.
it's just
But
a
have
whole
you ever
different game.
yeah, it is. Like um it is. So like I enjoy watching the WNBA.
I feel like
It's
if you're
kind
a
of
casual, you
you're
probably
not
won't
gonna
like it, you
all
know?
right. But like for me though, it's just like I'm not gonna think I'm like a dire WNBA fan because I'm not. But like I watch it like I compare it to like when I was watching it, like when I first started watching the NBA when I was a kid, where like I watched it a lot, but like I kind of didn't know like what players were good and what players weren't. It's kind of like that now. So I'm just trying to learn more now. And I think I have more time now because there's not going to be some basketball during the summer for the NBA. So I don't
You
have to
should
focus
start
on that.
making WNBA videos.
I don't feel like I know enough yet to. I tried
Yeah,
at
I
the
was talking
start,
about when
like
you get there though.
yeah, I know enough. Like I known about Brianna Stewart her whole career. Like I've been following her career because like I remember like seeing her in like a Sports Illustrated Kids article when she was in high school. Um, and I just remember watching her at UConn and stuff like that. Like I know about Sue Bird. I watch a lot of Sue Bird's like passing stuff. Like
Hmm.
she's like her and Diana Taurasi like they throw these like passes. Like if to the views, if you're gonna watch one game, WNBA game from like from WNBA history, go watch Game Five. I think it's 2018 conference finals between Diana Taurasi and Sue Bird. Like it's just so fun to watch. Um, and like you can use a lot of like stuff that they do in the WNBA to like study like NBA prospects, even like passing stuff and like what you can do. So I would definitely recommend checking out the WNBA. And you probably like it if you like basketball in general. If you're a diehard basketball fan.
Yeah.
And if you don't like it, stop being misogynistic, I guess. But you
Yeah,
know,
it's
yeah, like that's like I think
different
that's
game.
like one thing that like holds a lot of people back, which is stupid to me. Like basketball is basketball to me. If you can play, you can play. Like
Yeah, for sure. I just don't watch it because I just don't find it that entertaining. But
I
I
enjoy it.
understand people who like it, but
If
it's
you
not
like
my style.
if you're in like basketball nuance and like X's and O's, you're gonna
Yeah.
love WNBA because that it's a very nuanced X's and O's kind of game. But I enjoy it regardless because it's basketball. Like if basketball's on, basketball's on. Um, yeah, and it's always fun to watch. I do want to talk about some future prospects. We had weird technical difficulties, guys. Sorry about that. First episode going great. First, great first episode of this. But we were talking about prospects. You said you didn't watch as many this year. Um, but who are some prospects that like you do like? Again, like not name like Cade Cunningham or Evan Mobley, obviously, because like we know about them. But
My favorite prospect, before the hype train came around him, like I DM'd you about him.
yeah,
And I was like, "Do you know about him?" And he was like, "I didn't really look into him yet, but it." Davion Mitchell, I was a big fan of him.
hmm
I was saying before, like halfway through the year, I was like, "Yeah, no one's stopping Jared Butler and Davion Mitchell."
hmm
And now he's kind of like popular, I guess. A lot of people are like,
yeah.
"Get him in the lottery."
I
Now,
don't
do I
think
think
lottery because
that?
he's
I
23.
think he's lottery. I think he's a lottery talent, but there's also a
I think
lot of
mid-teens.
there's a lot of good guards. So I don't know.
I think you could argue he's a lottery talent, but there's also like 30 lottery talents in his draft. Like there's
Yeah,
30 guys that would go lottery in any other draft. Like there's 30, there's like I'm not even kidding. Like there are guys that are in like the 20s and 30s in this draft that like would be like late to mid first rounders, maybe even lottery guys in other drafts. Like I know the whole like thing was overstated about like um, there would be 8 guys to go number 1 in 2020, which it wasn't true. But there are like guys that are gonna go later. Like Josh Christopher, I would have taken in the lottery last year. Like, and he's like 20 on my board. Um, but who's the guy that like I don't know how to say this, but like who's the guy that like maybe you're higher on?
like like your Jaden Springer.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
yeah. Which I'm
I,
starting to believe I'm not like alone in that boat because I'm starting to find out a lot of other people that I know have him like top 5 as well. So
I think
I moved him down from 3. I will say that. I
I don't
moved.
know. This is a loaded question right here. I gotta really think. I think something about Jalen Suggs, bro. I mean, no, Jalen Green.
I have
I
Green at
think
3.
he could be like number two. Like
I don't.
obviously, I think Cade's gonna be the best, but I
I
think Jalen Green could be just like
I don't think I
a
could buy
Bradley
into.
Beal type.
I don't think I could buy into him being like ahead of Mobley because Mobley's like probably the best big man prospect I've ever seen since like Anthony Davis. And I know that's a stretch, but like when you compare him to other prospects, like other big prospects, like they don't have this combination of offense and defense. Like,
Hmm.
but I have Green number 3 on my board personally. Um, I think there's like a 3 through 6 in this draft that all have a chance to go number 3. Oh, who I would take 3, depending on the team.
Also,
Green,
Moses Moody as well.
Moses
I
Moody.
think he could be like top five maybe.
Mhm.
But how about you?
Um, this is a bad
Uh,
time to eat.
I wasn't looking at the screen. I was looking at Tankathon, so I didn't know. I didn't know I had to carry. But um, I don't know. Davion Mitchell as well. I know I said him before, but I'm really high on him. Like I was before March Madness, I was like, yeah, he's a lottery talent. I don't get it. And Rebel was really low on him. I was like DMing
Rebel
him
still is. Rebel probably still is.
about it.
I have him make mid-teens personally, but
I just think he's really good.
again, I think the thing is that he's 23. Like, so what is his ceiling really? And there's still a lot of offensive concerns with them. Like, you can't base your whole argument off like what happened in March Madness.
Yeah,
Because
for
that's just
sure.
like.
I just think he's so quick.
Mhm.
He's
But
he just
he plays like Donovan Mitchell. It's kind of
yeah,
scary.
it's crazy.
It's kind of scary. Like,
He's got the same number. He's
the-
got the same name.
kind of the same mannerisms as
Yeah,
well.
it's
As far as
crazy.
like, it
His
kind of makes him
defense too, bro.
because Donovan Mitchell was viewed as a defensive prospect coming out. I remember that. Um,
Really?
yeah, I just remember him being viewed as like this kind of like this two-way. Because like people thought he was gonna be like Norman Powell. Remember Norman Powell early on in his career? Like that's what they kind of projected Donovan Mitchell to be.
Yeah.
But
Plus, his
obviously,
Mitchell's playmaking as well is good.
yeah,
Like he just does a lot of things well.
he was.
Obviously, like he's older, so his potential ain't as high as Jalen Green.
Yeah,
But I would say Davion Mitchell is like a safe option. You know what you're gonna get from him. Well,
mhm.
Jalen Green, he could be a bust.
I
If
don't.
something goes wrong.
I don't think you could say that about Jalen Green because he's so he can play against NBA level athletes and he
True,
averaged like
true, true.
18 points per game and like pretty good efficiency. Like I believe he had like a 62 shooting percentage or something like that in the G League bubble. Um, I'm still relatively. I know like I have a lot of people around me that kind of that really have cooled off on Jonathan Kuminga. I'm still really high on him. I really like him a
That's
lot.
your guy. That's
Yeah,
been your guy. He's
yeah.
like your Tyrese Maxey this year. You love Tyrese.
Yeah. I don't know about like that though, because like Kuminga's still like ranked high according to the mainstream. Maxi wasn't at all.
Yeah, I don't know why. I can't believe he fell.
I can't believe he fell as first. I knew he was gonna fall like further than I thought he should, but I didn't think he was gonna fall like out of the top 20. Um, but trying to think though, like I like Jalen Green. I know that I have people that own is high on him. Um, he's my number three. Suggs is four. Springer five. Springer's probably the biggest surprise out of them. I'm still really high on Zaire Williams. I just think that there are a lot of external factors that went on
I'm
off the
like
court.
iffy on Jalen Suggs, by the way.
I don't. I think I have him top five because he's safe. Like he's not
Yeah.
gonna be bad. Um, but I do think there's a limit on his ceiling, and I might drop him on my board a bit. I don't get this idea that he could be the best player in this draft. Like he
Oh,
doesn't fit
no
his ceiling.
shot. No
No.
shot.
Like people talking about him as number two. I'm like, he's not even. I don't think he's better than Mobley. I don't think he's better than. He doesn't have the ceiling of either Mobley, Green, or Kaminga. But his floor is higher than Kaminga's and Springer's. Springer's just. I just want to see a bit more from him before like I can fully commit to like my insane train hype for him. But you know, Keon Johnson's another name I like a lot. He might be a better athlete than Green. We don't know that, but
Keon Johnson's pretty good. I haven't really looked into him too much.
he's
Like I
another.
said, I'm pretty much a casual
Yeah, Trey
fan
Man.
for this draft.
Trey Man, I really like him a lot.
Yeah, I've seen some clips of him. He can create his
Yeah,
shot for sure.
and he's young for a sophomore as well. So
Yeah, he's got potential to
um,
just be a nice shot maker, shot
yeah.
creator.
Trying to think who else there is. Josh Giddey. Josh Giddey's like rising
Oh
up my
yeah, he's
board.
cool. He's cool. I like that guy.
Josh Giddey.
Gives me Ben
Um,
Simmons vibes.
I think he because he's so more offensive potential recently. His shooting is improved throughout the years that I was in coaching. That's what kind of kept me back. It's like he really could shoot. Now he's shooting with more confidence. So Usman Garuba has gotten like real minutes in the playoffs for Real Madrid, and he's shown a way more offensive potential. So he's gone up as well. So those are two international guys that I'm very high on. Who's some guys that like maybe dropped for you? Like, I'm not gonna mention two of them just because like what I'm not gonna mention BJ or Terrence just because like what happened with them. That's a completely different story. I don't really want to talk about that. But who are some guys that maybe have fallen? Like for me, like Greg Brown is a name that comes to mind.
Oh my god, he was like a lottery. Wasn't he projected to go in the lottery
Some
like
in top
before this?
10. Some in top 10
Um,
even.
I would say like some
Jalen
people are
Johnson has
saying
fallen.
some people are saying like Franz Wagner as like a lottery pick, and like I think he'll be good, but lottery pick depending on your team. If you just need another like
I think Memphis.
fourth or
With Memphis
yeah,
probably
Memphis would be a nice, but like I don't know, I just don't see star potential like, and that's
So,
what you want out of a lottery pick. So I feel like
um,
he's kind of just he doesn't do it for me.
Jalen
G-
Johnson has fallen for me. That's the one
yeah,
thing.
dude, he was like my favorite player, and
He was
I
mine as
watched him.
well.
He
He's still
just
like talented. It's just like there's like he didn't show what I hoped he would have
his
showed at
offense just
Duke.
his
Like
offense
it's
doesn't
just
do it for me.
limited, and there was some off court factors. And this isn't even like him leaving Duke. Like this goes back to like high school. But I don't know enough about them. Like I know people like they've told me some things, but like it's not enough for me to be confident. And like he's saying, oh, you shouldn't draft this guy because of off court stuff. When I don't really know anything about those off court things, so.
I just don't believe in his offense. Like if you told him go get me a bucket, I just eh. And I would want that out of him because if he could do that, oh my god, with his like handle,
Mhm.
that's what I thought he was gonna be. But then in college, he was just like when I watched
Yeah.
him. But who
Um.
knows? You know,
Mhm.
you don't know anything. Like 2020 draft class was unreal. So
Yeah. But we also like I think Cole match like Cole Anthony, Jaden McDaniels, and OJ Hampton. I don't think those are any like real ballers. Like they were risers, there weren't any like real like guys that just fell for me.
mm-hmm.
Um. But it should be interesting with this draft. I can't wait. I'm gonna live stream it probably. Like I always do.
Yeah,
Um.
that's dope.
Yeah, we always try to do that. You know, I would talk about the Celtics lottery pick, but we don't have one this year. We almost got one, but
Damn,
like,
that
but it's just
sucks.
this like, but it's also like we were gonna lose this tournament, like because either
Yeah,
we lost or Washington was the only team that could have beat us. We blew them out, and even if we lost to them, I don't think we would have lost to Indiana
uh,
or Charlotte. Like
I was
Tatum's
hoping
just
it
too
would be.
good. Tatum's just too good for that.
Dude, he played
Lights.
unbelievable.
Mm-hmm.
I was just watching and enjoying it. I wanted the Celtics to play the Sixers just because you guys beat us like so many times. It's like I just want to, punch you in the face while you guys are injured, just to make me feel happy as a
It's
Sixers
revenge for
fan.
last year. Like last year, you guys didn't
No,
have
not
Ben.
just last year, but like
Last year, you
the
guys didn't
past
have
3 years.
Ben. No, but last year you guys didn't really have anyone else other than Bede.
Yeah,
Like
but let's be real. Even if
Tobias
we had
Harris.
Ben,
Tobias Harris wasn't playing well. I think he was getting outplayed by Romeo Langford at one point in
oh
that series.
yeah.
Um, that was frustrating for me to watch because like no one could throw an entry pass. Like there
Oh
was
my god, we still can't. We still barely can, to be
like
honest.
is Ben Simmons probably the only guy in the team that can throw an entry pass?
Danny Green's pretty good at it.
Mm-hmm.
George Hill too.
But just is George Hill like does he exist? Because like that's the thing I know with Sixers fans. They don't think he exists because you barely see him.
No, he's been playing. He's just playing with the bench crew. I think in the playoffs. Like I don't know. I don't know what Sixers fans expected out of him. Like
No,
he's
like
been really solid.
when he first got here, when he first got
Yeah,
to the team, like he didn't play, so like everyone thought he
that's
didn't
just
exist.
that's a Sixers thing, you know.
Mhm.
That's the Sixers curse, you know.
I
Glenn
will say this
Robinson and
about
Alec Burks got traded last year, and they didn't play for like a month.
um, it's all it's funny with the Sixers because I always believe like all their problems would have been solved if Marco Fultz just never got hurt or the basketball guys just didn't hate him, which
Yeah.
is a better way to put it. Because like I don't think people understand like how unreal of a prospect he was. Like there was no flaw in this game. Like, his one flaw was he couldn't lead Washington to the tournament. Like that was his one flaw. And if you looked at that Washington team, they had one other first round pick, and that was Matisse Thybulle. Matisse Thybulle wasn't giving you much on offense. I'll leave it at that. but like,
Yep. I mean, we still need him. Like, if he lived, like that's exactly what we need, and
yeah, like the
that's the
idea of
reason that's what we're missing, and that's the reason why I think we ultimately lose to the Bucks in the conference finals because we just need that shot maker, and like Maxey could be that, but you can't expect him already because his shot still has to develop. But we just need a player who could literally do a crossover and
I
create
don't
for
know.
himself. You know,
I think Brooklyn's going to the finals this year.
eh. I don't trust their defense. I think
Yeah, but the thing
Drew
is though,
Holiday
like,
for the Bucks. I
yeah,
think
but
just Drew
Drew
Holiday
Holiday
is
can
a
only
big
lock up
addition.
one of them.
True, but
Drew Holiday can only lock up,
I just
and
don't
even
believe in
then
their
though,
D.
like people to like bring up like how we locked up Damian and Lillard last year, like
Well,
not
that
last year, like
was
a few, but
AD
like
and him.
yeah, but like the thing though is like he's a really good defender, but like I've seen Kyrie Irving. Like, remember when Avery Bradley was like one of the best defensive players in the league? Like, remember there was a point in time where he was like one of the best guard defenders. Like, I've seen Kyrie Irving like cook him like in the playoffs multiple times.
I
It's
just
not
don't
pretty,
trust.
but
I
like,
just I just
but the
don't
thing
like
is
their
though,
defense.
like I know Harden is known as a playoff performer, but he's not a bad one. Like, he's not as bad
Yeah,
as
yeah.
people will try to make him out to be. But Kyrie's an excellent playoff performer. Minus the Bucks series, like during his last stint in Boston. He's been excellent in the playoffs. KD is really good in the playoffs as well for the most part. There, he does have some moments like that he does kind of underperform, but like for the most part, he's still pretty good. It's just hard for me to, especially since like James Harden has kind of like adjusted, which I never understood why people thought it wouldn't work between those three. I'm like, well, Harden wouldn't have requested a trade to Brooklyn if he wasn't willing to adjust.
Harden was deferring to freaking Eric Gordon for years.
Yeah.
Like that's what I was saying. Like there was
Like,
multiple times in the fourth quarter he was like, "Yeah, Eric Gordon, go get a bucket." Like you think he's not gonna give Kyrie the rights? Like come
yeah.
on.
And people don't understand. People forget the interview where he said he envisioned his whole career being like a sixth man in OKC. Like that's what he envisioned his career as the number three guy.
I just don't believe in their defense. And I think getting through the Bucks or even the Heat and the Sixers is going to be really tough for them. Could it happen?
I
Could they
think it
just
could.
like explode offensively? Obviously, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But if I were to like if you had a gun to my head and like choose who wins the East, I'm picking the Bucks or the Sixers over them just because I don't see the Nets.
But the
Even
thing,
Boston, like I think Boston is low key could take them like 5 to 6
but the thing
games
is
just because
though, like
Boston could get hot,
I would think about it this
offensively.
way though. Like look at what was around LeBron and Kyrie, like in 2017. And look at the
True,
way they ran through the East.
but
Like
that's
I know
LeBron.
the teams are better, yeah, but KD and Harden make up
Nah,
would at least
they're
make up
not
for like
on.
Harden.
They're not
But
LeBron level though.
KD and Harden would make up for what LeBron would. So it's like,
Eh,
okay,
LeBron just a whole nother planet. And I get that they're like playoff performers.
but
It's just KD had to go to Golden State. Harden's never really won a
Harden's.
like
But to
championship.
be
I'm
fair,
talking, and
to
Kyrie second option with LeBron. Like they haven't won. Like the leadership. I want to see what
well,
happens when they start losing. Are they gonna
I think
are they
KD's
gonna
fine though,
deter?
because KD went to
True,
the
he's
finals
matured.
at like 23 years old. You have to remember that. So
Yeah, that's
like,
true. That's true.
and technically Harden did as well as a sixth man, but like still putting up like good numbers. But and Kyrie, if he because Kyrie's a two goat, he's not the one goat anymore, so he doesn't have that responsibility on him. He can just do what he wants now. So that's the way I think about it. With like that's why I think it's gonna work out.
There's still question marks about the Nets, though. That's my point.
Blake
Same
Griffin's
with the
gonna
Sixers,
go
Bucks,
take some steroids, and then he's gonna be fine. DJ's gonna try to turn the clock back. Like
DeAndre Jordan's averaging 15 and 10
I know,
during the playoffs just because Harden's gonna feed him.
I know. But it should be interesting. I like Nicholas Claxton a lot.
I don't think he's ready for the playoffs though.
Yeah. I don't know a lot of those guys are ready for the playoffs. I'll be
Yeah,
honest. Like
But they
Maestro
do
Big.
have Harden, KD, next to
Spencer,
them.
watch like Spencer did when he come back.
I'll just throw something at my TV if that happens in the conference finals versus Sixers.
But
What do you think of the Bucks' chances, though? I
I like the
really
Bucks
like their
chance.
team.
I think Giannis is ready.
Yep.
I think Giannis is finally ready. He's shown like a lot of improvement as a closer. Like he was closing some games this year. Like his game against the Nets, that was on national
Against the
TV.
Sixers, too, he hit a clutch three,
Yeah.
and he
But
missed,
like,
he was 0-5 and hit a clutch three.
but like him against the Nets, like that was the best like closing I've ever seen from him. Like he was legitimately good as a closer. So like I was surprised by that. I think they
I
have a chance to go for it just based on the fact they replaced like Eric Bledsoe with Drew Holiday. So you replace a bad player with a
Yeah.
good player. So
Damn, bad play. Do you see what that scout said?
yeah, I saw that. Was so
So
stupid.
stupid. It's
Like
funny because I made a video on Drew Holiday the same day, saying
Drew
the opposite, and
Drew
then that quote
Holiday's
comes out.
it takes pressure off of Chris Middleton as well. Who's
Yeah,
kind of inconsistent in the playoffs. So like
and PJ Tucker and somehow Bobby Portis is shooting
it's
45% from
and you
three.
got Dante DiVincenzo coming off the bench.
Like
Like
all their role players just fit so well
I know
next to
it's
Giannis, Chris Middleton, and Drew Holiday.
like
You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? I think if this is the Bucks year, if the Bucks are ever going to go over the hump, this is
it's
the
just
year.
weird. I thought it
Plus,
was gonna be last year, but then they lost to
nah,
Miami.
they weren't ready. They didn't have that. They had Eric Bledsoe. Now they got Drew Holiday, who can do a lot more. Plus,
Yeah.
as an NBA fan, I want to see the Bucks versus Sixers because those teams just
Mhm.
have been through
Yeah.
struggles. They've been failing for years now. Well, the Nets, I love KD, Harden, and Kyrie. Don't get me
Mhm.
wrong, but I want to see the Bucks or Sixers because they generated the team over
Mhm.
the years, while the Nets just got KD and Kyrie and then
Well, they
traded
kind of
for Harden.
had to. They couldn't really build it. That's why I
Yeah,
never understood that argument because like Boston stole all their assets, so like they
yeah.
couldn't they couldn't do anything. But for me, my dream, I think like obviously like the dream finals would be Lakers versus Nets. Like that's like the media's dream finals, obviously.
NBA is gonna rig it to
Yeah.
that.
My finals I would want to see would be Clippers versus Bucks. Like that would be a
Oh,
fun. That's my
I
dream.
hate the Clippers, bro. I'm gonna be real.
Like
I hate them.
because like you still get a big market team, and Giannis has become a big market player, whether people want to believe it or not. Like he's
NBA
doing ads.
the NBA should
Or
have
I want to
made him
see,
more of a bigger
or like my
one.
real dream finals would be Nuggets versus Bucks, but the NBA wouldn't allow something like that to happen. Like that would be
Nuggets
fun. Like
versus
because
yeah,
like
that would
it's
be
two
bad for
like
the media.
MVP level players that like are kind of different because like Giannis is like this freak athlete, too elite on both ends of the floor. Where Jokic is kind of this like slow paced, like passing, scoring big. Like it's just two MVP caliber players that kind of are the opposite of each other. So that would be fun. Um, I'm trying like you know I think like all of them would consider. I think all of like my favorite finals come that would I want to see would include like either Clippers, Lakers, or Nuggets, and from the East it'd be like Sixers. Um, I don't want the okay, let me get straight. I don't want the Jazz to be there.
Jazz. I'm picking the Warriors over the
I would have loved this. Twitter would shut down
No,
if
it's
they upset.
possible.
It's fine. I
It's
think it's
so
fun,
possible.
but
Especially
um,
with Donovan Mitchell not being 100%.
oh, I know that's interesting.
Oh,
Watch
but
like Jordan
dude,
Clarkson.
don't Rudy Gobert though. They have
I
Rudy
don't like
Gobert, dude.
people
Finals
hate that
man.
I people would get mad at me because I make fun of him, and it's like you guys aren't helping like by getting mad because now I'm just gonna do it more to make you mad. So
Yes.
like
I just don't believe in the Jazz play style, to be quite honest.
I don't believe in Adam Silver being tone deaf enough to let the man
Bro, I low key
Because
like
nobody would want a Utah Jazz team in the finals unless like
I
Brooklyn made it. Like unless Brooklyn like if the Jazz won the title, like you would turn Sports Center the next day, they'd be talking about golf. Like no one would care. Like if they won the title, like no one
yeah, that's
except
true.
that one fan in Utah maybe. And yeah,
What would be the Adam Silver's worst nightmare finals?
ooh,
I think like
it'd be
the
like Jazz versus Heat. Like
no one would care.
no, either
Dude,
it would
well,
include
the Heat fan base is just like they think they're
no
like.
Indiana versus Utah.
I
That
swear
would
the
be.
Heat fan base on Twitter think they're like a historic team. Like last year's team was
Kind of
like
are.
historic.
They kind of are like a historic team, like as a whole, obviously.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
like I think like I don't think like I think they would have made a run last year regardless of the situation. Like you know,
yeah.
you know.
I
But
don't know. I think
I don't know if they would be Boston because I don't think Tyler Hero goes off in front of a crowd. But
yeah, I saw
that's
like a tweet. It was like the bubble had Donovan Mitchell shoot just averaging like 40. Jamal Murray was shooting like Stephen Curry. It's Tyler Hero was going off. So like I don't
like
know.
I
The
knew
bubble
I
is
kind of with
weird.
Tyler Hero, I kind of knew something was off with them, like the way it was going off. I'm like, I've seen this one before because I've always seen role players go off against the Celtics. Like, oh, I've seen this story before. It's not like Chris Middleton. Chris Middleton's like a legit kind of level player. Where it's like he goes off against us. It's more about like being disappointed because he's not good against like the other teams in the playoffs. But he's a good like he averages like 25, 5, and 6 per 36 on like 50, 40, 90 shooting splits. Like that's a really good player. But like Tyler Hero, he tricked y'all. Like I didn't fall for it, but I kind of knew because people were talking about, oh, people say, oh, you're just mad about he dropped 37 points. And it's like, kinda, but not really because like I've seen it before. I saw Caris LeVert drop like 50 in the second half against my team. Like nothing can hurt me anymore. Like
He's still a solid. Tyler Hero's still a solid player. It's just that people were
don't
talking
trade
like
him.
he was going to be like, yeah, don't trade him for Harden.
Like
You know,
don't trade him.
that's
I would have traded him for Lowry even. Like if the Heat had Kyle
yeah,
Lowry, like
yeah, yeah,
they would be like a legit contender. Like, because people don't, I think people underrate how good Kyle Lowry is,
yeah.
and
It's
it's
going to be
hard
like
to.
Chris Paul. Like Kyle Lowry's going to go to like a team later in his career, and then people are finally going to be like, oh, damn, he's really good.
Like people understand, like people act like he was never like really bad in the playoffs. It was more Jamar than him. He had his bad moments, obviously, but like he wasn't consistently underperforming the way like Jamar was. And he had a really good game 6 in the NBA Finals. Like people forget that. Like he was like when you watch that game, he looked like probably the best player in the court that night. Like he was
He's
like
so good
he is like
defensively,
he
getting
is the
everyone
little
involved.
things. He does those
Yep,
little things.
he's got a big ass. He's got it all. I
Kind of
want him
dumb,
on
like
Philly.
yeah.
He's probably going to
um.
Miami though.
I don't think it wouldn't shock me if he stayed in Toronto. He loves Toronto. Like he is like he's like formed such like a relationship with that fan base and that community that it wouldn't shock me if he stayed.
Yeah, I could understand that.
Like remember like he was like crying because I think he thought he was gonna get traded the day remember the day the trade deadline, and everyone thought he was gonna get traded. Like people were he was like crying after that game because I think he thought it was his last game with the team.
Yeah, Toronto messed up.
I know, and he put
I'm pretty sure Philly they they were asking for like everything from Philly for like maybe a 1 year rental.
um. I would have traded Tyler Hero from that would have pissed off Raptors fans because
I would
Raptors
trade Maxi for him.
I would have traded Tyler.
Not not Maxi and Matisse and a bunch of picks though.
Yeah,
And Danny Green, because Danny Green had to be in it for the cap reasoning, so it was just
but
too much for the Sixers.
it's hilarious because like he kind of went from like he made one also team to like he's probably a Hall of Famer now. He's probably a Hall of Famer now. I would put him.
Easily.
Yeah,
Greatest
and
Raptor of
considering
all
how
time.
easy it is, like it is how easy is it in the Hall? Like if you have a handful of All-Star teams and a handful of All NBA teams, there's a good chance you're going to the Hall. Like I always
Yeah,
say
it's
that.
not hard.
It's
Well,
not as
it's
hard.
hard. It's hard,
It's
but
hard, but it's not as hard. It's not like the football Hall of Fame, like or the
yeah.
baseball Hall of Fame. Baseball Hall of Fame's different because like there's a bunch of politics that go into that. Because apparently you can't use steroids and get into the Hall of Fame, which I think is really stupid because steroids save baseball. Like I always believe that, but I do want to wrap things up. I think we've gone on enough. Let's just talk about YouTube. Like, where do you want to be with it? Like, what do you want to do?
um,
How good do you feel good about where you are now? Like,
I feel like I'm getting better. Like
mhm.
if you watch my first video,
Yeah.
and just like in terms of confidence
Hmm.
in how I talk during it, and just like I feel like I found what I enjoy making,
Yeah.
and just like not really caring about how many views it gets, because in
Hmm.
reality, like I think like if you were to tell me like a year ago I would be
Hmm.
close to 10K
Yeah.
subs, I would be like going insane. But
Hmm.
like in reality, the numbers don't really mean much.
Hmm.
Like obviously, it gets you like a rush,
Hmm.
adrenaline, like you're riding a roller coaster. But
Yeah.
eventually, it's just like it's not everything. So I think
Hmm.
just realizing that and putting out content, I just want to get to a point where I can make a video
Yeah.
and like not even check the performance and
Yeah.
not
I want
even
to get to
care.
that point. It's hard because I try not to check my
Like I've
performance,
gotten
but
better.
like, and then
It's hard though.
you go on your YouTube studio and you keep on refreshing your screen like 30 times.
You're
Like,
like a 10 out of 10. Oh,
uh, it's
it's the
like,
worst day of my life.
I
Go to
did.
YouTube.
I remember about the Jokic video, which is well on pace to be like my most viewed video ever now. Like it was a 10 out of 10 that first hour. I was so mad. I just didn't look at it. Like, oh, it's another video. I was right there, chef. I come back the next day, like that's like a 1 out of 10 for like not only like now, but like out of like all my videos ever. Like that's well on pace to be like my most viewed video like I've ever made. And I'm happy that it is because like my current
Mhm.
was a mock draft where I kind of just like threw a couple graphics up and was talking. But if I have one now where it's you know, like an actual like good video that I've made that I feel proud of, like, and I'm pretty proud of that Jokic video, like,
Yeah.
I'm happy with that. But YouTube, like, I think for both of us, we're trying to make it a career. Like,
Yeah.
was there a point in your life where you wanted to do like sports journalism and stuff? Because there definitely was a point like early on where I wanted to get into like sports journalism, maybe write through a company, stuff like that.
I was never really into writing, so not
Mhm.
really. But
Yeah.
later, as it could be an option, I guess. But I don't know. I hope YouTube turns into something bigger
Yeah.
than what it is now.
Hmm.
But if it doesn't, it is what it is. Like I'm confident with my work ethic and
Hmm.
that I'm gonna be fine. And I think there's like a where like
Hmm.
I'm trying to explain something. Oh man, my headphone. Like obviously I want to make YouTube something like a career,
Hmm.
but where I am at now is crazy, you know? Like the fact I could upload and get like 200 views in an hour, like I'm thankful for that. I'm
Hmm.
grateful for it cuz like a year ago I was getting like 20 views in an hour. So I
Yeah.
try to be grateful, but at the same
Yeah. It's
time, if you want
if
to
you
make
want to
it, you
you
can't
want to
have that
improve.
mentality. Yeah.
Yeah, like for me though, like because like a year ago, like if I 'cause, like I get probably around like 80 to 100 views in the first hour of a video, and my videos are
Hmm.
all usually teeter off after that and end up at like 300 to 400 views. But like even getting like 50 views in the first hour at one point was like whoa, like that's awesome,
Yeah.
like like that was awesome. Now it's just like even like getting 100 views on a video felt like an accomplishment at one point. Now it's just like I'm getting like 200 to
Yes. So
like the
that's what I'm
700
trying to
views a
say.
video. Like it's like I'm thankful for that because at one point that was the major accomplishment, but now I want more. Like I want to do more
Yeah.
with it. And then like you can't worry about the views and stuff at the same time. Like you
Yeah,
just gotta
you
keep
can.
working. Because if you keep working, it's eventually gonna come to you.
And I
It's
think
gonna.
the thing about YouTube is like, oh, like last month I went off like, and honestly, I didn't even change much. Like maybe my thumbnails got a little better, but if I'm being real, maybe my commentary got a little better, but if I'm also being real,
Yeah.
I was pretty much doing the same thing. So like YouTube's also got to be on your side.
Yeah.
Obviously, like the big creators, they deserve it, but the algorithm also got to
Algorithm does favor
reward you.
clickbait.
Yeah,
Algorithm,
yeah,
but for me, like, I've always been changing my thumbnail styles. Like I've gone to like 8 different thumbnail styles since I started on YouTube.
same,
Um, like
same.
I went from doing like these like I started like basing off movie posters, and I realized like I there's only so many movies you can base your thumbnail off of. So like I kind of stopped doing that. I did one where it was like a white screen with like a white frame around a picture. I was at one point doing like movie poster style. I was like doing like one little thing over it, and like now what I'm doing is I'm doing like 3 pictures. I'm doing like 3 pictures of the player, and one in the middle, and the one in the middle will be in front of the text. So it kind of cuts it off, but you can kind of see what's there and what isn't there. And then I throw a shadow over it, throw an
Mhm.
overlay, things like that. People always compliment me on my thumbnails, which I
Yeah,
like.
they're really good.
Like at one
To be
point,
honest.
I was basing my thumbnails off the After album cover from The Weekend, not the After Hours, the Starboy album cover. Um, so, but I like the one I have now because it's kind of quick and gets to the point, and it shows a lot. We're not showing too much, which is the big thing with thumbnails, by the way. You can't show too much. Like you have to show enough. You know what I mean by that?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Like I always
Yeah,
say,
your
less.
thumbnails are one of a kind though.
uh,
Like they're just really aesthetically pleasing.
mhm. And people always ask me what it is. Like I use Pixlr, which is like a free, like,
Really?
yeah,
That's
which
crazy.
is a free editing site. So I would recommend that to anyone starting YouTube. Use Pixlr to make your thumbnails. It's free. There are limitations on the free version of it, but there's not enough limitations. Like you can still do a lot with it. So again, I would highly recommend doing. I'm pretty sure Keandre, or you may know Miss Hoop Into like does the
Yeah,
same.
yeah, I know. I
Uh,
would say all the upcoming YouTubers try to get friends in the community.
yeah, I
Like
know. That's another thing you gotta do. Make
it's
friends.
fun. Yeah.
Like I've met Robel, I met you, obviously, Rudy, um, Ask the Truth, Mojo, as well. You know,
Mojo. That's my guy.
Zay. Zay finally started uploading again.
Yeah, Zay.
Keandre.
Bro, he's got potential, bro.
I know, because he's a great writer because he sends me some of his scripts. He can
He's
write.
got he's got that voice too.
Mhm.
You know, just that
Yeah, he's got to
you want to
improve
listen
that.
to that, you
Yeah,
know.
he's got to get him to do it consistently now. Kogo Stomas. Um,
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
No.
he's kind of been blowing up
He's
in
one of a kind too.
yeah,
He's got a unique
yeah.
video style. And
Makai as
I think
well.
people will go a little too crazy, like they gotta, like starting, they think their quality gotta be perfect.
No,
But
like
in
I started
reality,
using a
just
phone. I always tell people,
YouTube's about just upload whatever you want. It doesn't
yeah,
have to be like a
I
movie.
I always
You know what I'm saying?
I started up. Go look at some of my old videos. Like I made those on an iPhone. Like just do it because I love it. Mm,
Yeah, and just trust me, you if you don't love it, you will stop. Because
Like for me, like when you can tell you love it is for me like when I was first started. Like I started as one video and you make another one and another one. Like 50 videos in. I only made like 10 videos up to that point, and I'm like, you've made 50. Like, like it's shocking to me that I've made like over 360 videos on this channel. Like that is truly shocking to me. Like it doesn't feel like I've made that many videos. Like, do you feel the same way? Like, it doesn't feel like you've made that many videos, but like you look down, you have like, because you have over 300 videos as well.
yeah, I mean, yeah, it does not feel like 300, but at the same time, I've been doing it for like 2 years. I've been
Yeah,
pretty consistent,
I think we started
and
around the same time, didn't we?
yeah, I originally had a channel, and then I got unfairly reported by someone, and YouTube does not care about like small channels, so I couldn't get it back.
You
Hence
mean,
why my name is Romp 2.0.
uh,
But Yeah, I think just being consistent is so
Yeah.
important.
And like if you love it, you'll eventually start showing improvement because it's like you enjoy it so much that you want to improve, and that's what happened with me. Like my editing from like then to now, like, and probably for you as well. Like what you're doing editing wise, like there's stuff like you never thought you would be able to do.
Yeah, and you'll learn things, how to make editing quicker. You'll get
Hmm.
quicker with editing. You'll get quicker at making a script if you make a script.
Hmm.
You'll get quicker with the thumbnails. So it's just like anything else. Like it's like a sport. You're gonna get better over time. You're gonna learn what works, what doesn't
Hmm.
work. You're gonna fail.
Yeah,
You're definitely
you're
gonna
gonna fail.
fail.
Like you're gonna have moments. Like I've had stretches on videos where like I uploaded like 10 straight videos that didn't get over 50 views. Like there's gonna be those stretches. Like, but you just work through them.
But yeah, I think
And you just
when I
gotta
was
meet
first
people.
starting, I always had the mentality like, if you were in a room alone giving a speech, 50
Yeah,
people, you would be nervous as hell. You would be
I
like
know.
up there shaking. So it's like, just be grateful for what you have, if even if it doesn't turn into what you want it to be,
Right
because in
away.
reality, there's more to life than
I mean,
numbers.
numbers.
Yeah,
Also, just try to make friends. Like that. That's always a big part of it for me. I always tell people like just try to make connections with like people. And like me,
facts.
because that's a big part of it for me and why I enjoy it so much. Like meeting people like Robel, meeting people like you, meeting people like Rusty. Rusty was like a very one. But that's what I like about Rusty so much. It's like he doesn't care about what how many subs you have. Like he'll be your friend. Like if you're a cool guy, and like I've been able to form like a friendship with him, Rudy, obviously, who kind of Rudy's kind of like he's kind of like my agent at this point because like he's the reason I know a lot of the people I do on YouTube. Like
Oh,
he's the
well,
reason I
good.
know Jacob, I know Mojo and all those guys. So you get to meet so many cool people. Like I never thought someone like Jackson Frank I'd become like kind of cool with. Or Nikias even. Shout out him. But like, this guy, people that you meet, like I know I met a guy who I've kind of become friends with, and he knows like Stacks Montana and King Son, like guys that I grew up watching for like basketball YouTube stuff, like
Mhm.
2K my career YouTube stuff. I just never thought I'd be able to like meet. So like it's always just about, and not even about like meeting like people that are popular. Just meet friends. Like some of my favorite friends from YouTube don't even have 1,000 subs yet, which is ridiculous because they make good content. But still, it's not about the subs all the
It's
time.
no, it really isn't.
Like, oh, like
Like,
I'm not gonna judge you based off how many subs you have. Like I'm gonna judge you. Like there's a guy. I'm gonna admit he goes by the All You Know Show, Rants and Rambles. Makes he's an excellent storyteller, and he makes
mhm.
great like kind of podcast style videos. So like, go check him out. By the way, but you know, thanks for coming on, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. First
Yeah, but I
episode of
got one more
this.
question for you.
Yeah, go ahead.
Do you still feel the same even with the amount of subs you had than last year with like when you had like 200, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Oh, do I feel the same? Like, what do you mean by that? Like,
Like does it do anything for you? Like does it
it
does it
it
really
kind of
change
it
stuff, you
kind
know?
of does. It kind of doesn't. Like
Yeah,
my mindset's
exactly.
still the same. My mindset's still the same. Like I want to grow. Like that still mindset never has changed. It never will change, no matter how many subs I get. Um, Part of it though is trying to keep it on because again, I gained a lot of my subs from a shout out, and
Yeah,
those are
yeah.
a bit tricky with like, some people just sub to sub and then they'll unsub.
Mhm. Yeah.
But like, I think, but also like, I've noticed a lot of people are saying like, "Oh, I'm I'm here because Rusty shouted you out and he told me about you, and I'm glad that he did because like, you make good content. I can't believe I didn't know about you earlier." Like those comments mean a lot to me because like it's people like yeah, they found out about me because I have a popular friend, but at the same time, they also like know about me because
You earned that shout out
yeah,
though.
yeah, that's what he always tells me. Like you did earn that. Like
Yeah, he
you
wouldn't be
know,
shouting at he doesn't shout out anybody, you know?
yeah, I know. Like, and that's the thing with him. It's just like people are like, oh, like you paid. Some people think I paid for that, by the way, which I didn't.
Well, those people are, they're probably saying that because they have their own insecurities,
Yes.
but
Some people think I
that's
paid for
another
that. I'm
story.
like no, like people don't understand. Like he's no, I've kind of been friends with him since I've had less than 100 subs. Like,
Yeah.
and but like, it's just, I'm grateful for a lot of things YouTube has done for me. I think it's given me a platform. Like, throughout high school, I had no idea what I wanted to do in life. You know what I mean? Like, I had no idea what I wanted to do, and then I found YouTube. I found making videos, and I'm like, you know what? This is something I want to do now, and I'm happy about that. And I can't wait to see where I can't wait to see where you and all, like, and Robel and Keandre and Zay and Kogo and Makai and and a bunch of other friends that I know. Like, I can't wait to see where, like, we all go, like how we all grow, like, and that's what's just so fun about it.
For
It's not
sure.
always about, like, it's not just about me on this journey. Like, even though, like, I make my own videos, I write my own scripts, I edit, like, I do all my own thumbnails and graphics and stuff. But it's also about, like, the, like, friends you make, and you're noticing that, like, that's like, oh, the friends you make along the way. Like, like, I mentioned that, and I'm not trying to be serious about a poll. I'll say the real winner is the friends that we make along the way. Like, that truly is what it can be about as well.
Mm-hmm. That's
Yeah,
facts.
it
That's a
is
good
like,
way to end it.
yeah. But thank you for coming on. Make sure you go follow Romp on Twitter and Instagram. Subscribe to his YouTube channel. Everything will be in the description, in the pinned comment as well. Go check him out. Anything else you want to shout out that you use?
Thanks for having me, and keep doing this, bro. You're gonna really
Yeah,
enjoy this series, bro.
I
Trust me.
know it is. You know, I have someone else. I have someone for this week. These are probably going to be coming out on Mondays and Fridays. So this one will be going up on Friday, and the next one I have someone scheduled for Sunday. It'll go up on Monday. And I enjoyed this, and if this is a sign of things to come with the series, I'm excited. I'll probably have you on again sometime.
Yeah, I'm
Maybe
down.
for something like this. Maybe for another video. Hey, we finally got a collab video in.
Yeah, bro.
After like it feels like 2 years of, like, just talking about
Let's
doing a
go.
collab video, we finally get one
Yeah,
done.
I'm so bad with that, bro. I apologize.
Yeah, it's from both of us, because, like, we're like, oh,
Yeah.
we don't want to record, and one of us like, oh, I'm sorry,
Yeah,
I
life
cannot. Like,
happens. It's hard, you know.
life's hard, especially when you're in college. Especially when
Yeah,
you're,
yeah.
yeah. So I'm glad we finally got this done. Again, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Leave a like. Again, go follow Romp on all the social medias. Go follow him on. Go not follow him. Go sub to his channel, and yeah, have a nice day, night, morning, whenever you're watching this. And I'll see you guys next time.